Learning Spanish has changed me in so many ways. It is really insane just how many things that I do differently in my life. I definitely say that I'm more of a passionate learner. Now, I did like to learn before I started to take Spanish more seriously, but now it's like I'm just absolutely obsessed with learning something new, especially when it comes to the Spanish language. I love to learn everything that there is to the Spanish language, how to improve my pronunciation skills, how do different Spanish-speaking countries speak Spanish, what are the type of words that they use, what are the type of phrases that they use, what type of food do they eat, what type of festivals do they have. I'm learning all these new things all the time. I even consider myself a language nerd or a Spanish nerd. And on this channel here, I have a live stream that I call the Spanish Nerd Live Stream. Now, I also consume everything in Spanish, so I like to read in Spanish a lot. And right now, well, actually, no, I stopped reading this book, but I was reading this, 1984, in Spanish. I also finished this book here, La Crisis Histórica de la Sociedad Colombiana, Algunas Claves para Entender el País. And I actually bought this in Cali, Colombia. And right now, I'm reading this other book that I bought in Cali, Colombia called El Legado. My favorite book in Spanish is Yo no soy tu perfecta hija mexicana. I definitely recommend reading this book if you haven't yet. Besides books, I also like to read a lot of comments online in Spanish. So let's say Instagram photos, Instagram reels. I like to read those in Spanish. I like to read different YouTube comments in Spanish. And then if I am searching something online, like on Google, like how to tie a tie or something like that, or how to make a certain recipe, I also like to read all those sites or all those websites in Spanish as well. When I'm in my car, I like to listen to the Spanish radio. I also listen to a lot of Spanish music. Every single day, all throughout the day, I'm listening to Spanish music, whether that is banda, bachata, salsa, merengue, a little bit of everything I listen to. As well, I have a lot more songs in my Spanish music playlist than I do in my English music playlist. I also write in Spanish, like journaling, and then as well writing my grocery list in Spanish. I listen to podcasts in Spanish. I watch Spanish YouTube channels. I also watch movies in Spanish. So for me, in my life right now, I just consume everything in Spanish. So I have a very immersive approach to learning this language. So really everything that I do has to be some way tied to learning Spanish. By the way, if you are looking for some resources to learn and improve your Spanish, check out my Spanish resource kit, which has over 60 resources like YouTube channels, songs, TV shows, and podcasts. Don't forget to leave a review as well. Now, I'm also a lot more open-minded and I'm more willing to change my perspective on life in different situations. And I would say that's mostly due to me having a lot of conversations in Spanish with native Spanish speakers and traveling to different Spanish speaking countries and experiencing their culture and experiencing just the way that they live in different countries, right? And of course, I grew up here in the United States. So the way that we live here is not the same as how people live in other countries. So being able to see that comparison and contrast has definitely changed my perspective on a lot of different things. For example, in 2022, I went to my first ever Dia de Muertos celebration. And before I went there, I didn't know anything about Dia de Muertos. I probably have seen it on TV, or I probably had seen it on TV before, but I didn't know anything about it. I just saw like a lot of skulls and stuff, and I thought that was very strange. So now my mentality is very different. I don't think it's strange. I think it's actually a very beautiful celebration. And I learned a lot from it, that it's more like a celebration of life of past ones. And it's really cool too, because I went to one altar and this one guy was telling me about their family member that passed away and about all the different things that they enjoyed, like the activities that they like to do, food that they like to eat. I just thought it was very beautiful and very special. And at these celebrations, there was a lot of music, there was food, there was dancing, and a lot of smiles. So I just think it's a really cool way to keep the memories of a past loved one alive. I speak Spanish all the time. When I first started to speak Spanish around my friends about 4 years ago, it was kind of weird because it was my first time really starting to speak Spanish a lot and around my friends, but then also within my friend group, we didn't speak Spanish. We only spoke English. So that was kind of strange. But now, if you can imagine, it is expected that I'm always speaking Spanish. Even my friends that don't speak Spanish, I speak Spanish to them, and I'm usually speaking to myself in Spanish. Everywhere I go, I'm always looking for an opportunity to speak Spanish. So right now, I have spoken Spanish at restaurants, at bookstores, at stores at the mall, at grocery stores, at auto shops. So I've talked to mechanics in Spanish. I've been on an apartment tour in Spanish as well. So I've talked to like a leasing agent in Spanish. I've also spoke Spanish with my coworkers. I spoke Spanish at the gym, at house parties, when I've been out dancing salsa with my friends on the phone. So not just calling them, but also texting them. I know that there are other places that I have spoken Spanish at, but they're not just coming to my mind right now. But basically, I try to speak Spanish wherever I am. And not just with my friends again, but with strangers. And that is very weird since I'm more of an introvert. So that is another way that learning Spanish has changed me. My personality is a lot more extroverted at times when I have that desire to have a conversation in Spanish with a native Spanish speaker, because again, since right now I'm more of a passionate learner and I really want to develop my speaking skills and I want to learn everything about Latino culture, I'm a lot more open to have conversations in Spanish with Spanish speakers. And even if they are strangers, I don't know them at all. And no matter where I am, I definitely was not striking up conversations with people that I did not know before I started to get serious learning Spanish. In comparison to when I speak English, when I speak Spanish, I am a lot louder. I would say I'm way more energetic, and I speak a lot faster. I think when I speak English, I sound a lot more monotone and I sound a lot more boring and uninterested. The food that I eat is increasingly becoming a lot more diverse, so I like to eat a lot of tacos because there are many Mexican restaurants where I'm at. As well, I like to drink a lot of agua frescas. I love Mexican food so much, and in fact, I've been to over 30 different taquerias and birrierias in San Antonio. You can check out some of those photos on my Instagram, but I love trying different Mexican dishes and dishes from other Spanish-speaking countries, so I'm always on the hunt for Latin American restaurants. Exploring all these different restaurants have also given me the opportunity to have a lot more conversations with native Spanish speakers, so I have learned a lot. Learning Spanish has also changed me on the romantic level, so right now I would say I'm a lot more romantic than when I was not learning Spanish. And that's partially due again to learning the language. I think the language in general is just more romantic. I could be wrong, but that's just kind of my perception. As well, the words that I use when I speak Spanish, when I'm trying to be romantic, those are different as well. I'm a lot more cariñoso. So I guess that is tied to the personality change as well. So I'm a lot more romantic, I'm a lot more cariñoso. I speak with a lot more affectionate words, more words of endearment, I would say. And just, I guess, being on dates in Spanish is just a very, very different experience than just having a date in English. It's hard to explain because it has a lot to do with the types of words that I use. And they're different, they're used differently in Spanish than they are in English. I'm a lot more open to express how I feel towards someone in Spanish versus English. Again, kind of hard to explain, but that's just how it is. Overall, I just think I have learned how to be romantic in different ways just after having conversations with Spanish speakers and them sharing with me how they are romantic in their country. Now, I'm also a content creator on YouTube here, so I've been making YouTube videos since December of 2021. And this definitely was not a part of my life plan to have a YouTube channel and to be talking about language learning and talking about my experience learning Spanish. This channel was definitely 100% inspired by my passion for learning Spanish and then also wanting to help other Spanish learners. So thanks to learning Spanish, this YouTube channel has been a big life changer as well. So now I'm recording videos, I'm editing them, I'm making or writing the scripts for the YouTube videos, and I was never doing that before. I'm responding to all the comments that I can, and I've been able to connect with many Spanish learners through the comment sections As well, I've been able to connect with other language learners in general by having this YouTube channel. This desire, this passion to create more videos about learning Spanish so I can help all of you, I would say definitely has made me a lot more altruistic, because I want to motivate you as much as I can. I want to give you as many tips as possible. So that just has really changed my mentality. So beforehand, I was just a student. I was just a Spanish student. I still am, but I was mostly just focusing on myself, right? Like, how can I improve my Spanish? How can I become a better Spanish learner? But now I'm focusing on trying to improve the Spanish learning journeys of many other people. As you can see, learning Spanish, learning a new language have many, many, many benefits. Now, let me know in the comment section below, how has learning Spanish changed you? Thank you very much for watching this video and for all of your support, and I'll see you in the next video.